So, an absolutely beautiful night. My good friend Enrique came over, and we were just talking about a few things. Nugget wanted to come out, say hi to everybody. People are always asking about how she's doing, how Mimi's doing. Mimi's doing great. Everybody's doing great, right? Love this dog. Anyways, a lot has transpired in the last day. And what we're seeing now is this honeymoon in the markets. And so as soon as the election was over, Dow was up 1,500 today. It was a little bit flat compared to what we just saw, but markets across the board up, and they're at all-time highs. S&P up, NASDAQ way up today. But you did something a little unusual while everybody's out enjoying the party. What did you do?
So I pretty much was watching the markets ever since the election took place. I did see that everything was really high. Cryptos went really high. Many stocks went they ballooned a lot. So I decided to sell the majority of my stock holdings. So I was very vigilant, and I decided to pull the trigger right before market closed today. And I said, I'm out.
And the majority was Tesla, you said?
Yeah, I had a lot of Tesla stock. I had a lot of different stocks over the years, but just little by little, I just started putting a lot more money in Tesla as the years went by, and I did have quite a bit of a gain there, and I decided that it was a good time. I thought it was a real good time to take advantage of the fact that there's a lot of people piling in right now in these markets. This is all euphoria. I know it's euphoria. I don't know how long this euphoria is going to last. But I did want to take advantage of the fact that Tesla stock has gone up quite a bit the last week or two. And like I said, right before market close, I saw a good opportunity for me to be able to cash out the majority of my holdings. I still have some risk assets, in the stock market, but it's not that much. I just want to make sure I have a little bit of exposure. It's nothing too big. If it decides to tank a bit, I don't mind, but the majority of my money is safe now. I pulled it out of the stock market, so I feel very good about that decision.
And we were watching what Warren Buffett, Berkshire Hathaway's been doing. They've cashed out $325 billion, now sitting on the sidelines, this massive war chest that Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway have built up. So that has to be a warning of something, right? They have to be expecting something to happen. And my concern is now we're going to see some type of sabotage with these markets. Now that there's a new administration, whether you like it or not, there's a new administration. The question is now, will there be some type of sabotage towards this new administration? And one of those would be, could they possibly crash these markets deliberately?
Yeah, and the thing is it's very difficult to predict these kinds of movements in the stock market. And a lot of the times, if it feels good for you, if you feel like you've made a good amount of gain, I always say that, hey, it's better to have some gain than no gain, because sometimes what will happen is if that stock market flips, it could happen at any moment. Anything in this world could take place that could tank the stock market, and it could be for a period of months, weeks, months, or years that you will be holding the bag.
So let me ask you this, your opinion, not financial advice. Do you believe we're going to see a massive correction or collapse in the stock market coming? I mean, nobody can predict it. Do you think we'll see one within the next 12 months?
I really do think that this market could definitely switch on us. At one point, we could have the market tank 20, 30, 40%. And like I said, it's unbeknownst. It could just happen out of the blue. Anything could happen in this world that'll happen to tank. And if you do have cash available, you may be able to get some good deals out there.
Yeah, I think some huge opportunities are coming. Another thing I wanted to share with everybody was, as I was looking through social media today, I've noticed more and more realtors, real estate agents that were posting 6 months ago, 7 months ago, 8 months ago, they were posting daily, their vacations, their new listings, their sales. I've noticed that a lot of these same people have not sold a house now in over 5 months, 6 months, 7 months. And it's becoming more and more obvious that the housing market is in a collapse. And when I read this article that I was reading today on CNBC, Airbnb misses on earnings but squeaks in a revenue beat. a lot of these people that bought these short-term rentals, you know people, I know people, they were going to be real estate moguls, you know, buying 2, 3, 4, 5 houses to put out onto Airbnb. Now those homes are not renting and they are stuck with 3, 4, 5 mortgages.
Yeah, and not only that, but I personally know several people that have not been able to make good money on their Airbnbs. They're losing money. They're losing a lot of money, and it's getting more and more difficult as the months go by with the rising expenses behind maintaining all these Airbnbs. Just because you're not making money, everybody around you, they still want to get paid. So it's just getting worse over time, and it's going to get to a point where these people are going to have to get rid of their Airbnbs, or at least the excess fat, pretty much. Anything that they cannot afford, they're going to have to find ways to be able to get rid of it.
Now, if they bought these Airbnbs at the wrong times, maybe like 2022, they're more than likely upside down, depending where they're at. But more than likely, if they don't figure in the closing costs, the commissions that go with all this, they're upside down. You know, it's just interesting. You know, a couple of years ago, I warned people that were in the real estate business, make sure you're putting money away. And most people didn't. They went out and they were taking, you know, vacations. They were eating at fancy restaurants. They were putting in swimming pools, whatever. And just thinking that this whole thing, which was completely artificial, by the way, too. When you have the Fed buying mortgage-backed securities, the Fed, you know, putting mortgage rates down below 3%, and then you're giving people free money. Of course, everybody was going to go out and try and buy a house, and now we have a housing bubble. Well, now things have changed. And so these same people that were in the business, also people in the mortgage industry, also paying a severe price here. Now these people, the same people that were telling you to go buy a house, can't even make their house payments now because according to the data, 47% of realtors last year did not even sell one house. What do you think about that?
I think that that's true, and I really do believe that. I personally, when I see people that I talk to, I've talked to several people, and sure enough, realtors, they're out there recycling the same properties on social media, trying to get rid of them. They basically go in there and they take new video, they take new pictures, they change the listings. They try to do everything they can to make it look like it's a fresh property because they cannot get rid of it.
Discount the price $1,000 like that's going to do anything, or $5,000 like that's going to do something. But it's interesting that, you know, also when I was watching these people on social media, they would be braggadocious that, oh, we just sold this house for $100,000 over asking price, $50,000 over asking price, and just bragging about that. And I wonder now if they, to the realtors who sold their clients a home $100,000 over asking price, I wonder if they're going to be answering the phone to their clients now who completely overpaid for these properties. I wonder if they're going to hold any of these agents accountable, and these same agents would probably never even answer the phone when these same people call them going, hey, why did you sell me a house and tell me to, you know, buy a house $100,000 over asking price, and now prices are beginning to go down, sellers have disappeared, we cannot unload, or nobody's renting our Airbnb. What do you think the realtors are going to do now as their phones ring off the hook of going, why isn't my house selling, and why did you tell me to buy this overpriced listing?
Yeah, they're pretty much going to ghost them. And the thing is all this money is pretty much obliterated. So it's money that's basically in thin air now. It no longer exists. It's gone. Your equity has disappeared, and now what are you going to do?
Isn't it funny? It's really not funny, but you know, it was the car dealer saying you better buy this car because we're not going to get any more. You need to pay, you know, $10,000, $20,000 over MSRP. The realtors were telling you to spend $50,000 or $100,000 over the listing price, or you wouldn't get it. And now I'm seeing. Well, listen, we drove 6,000, or we flew 2,000, drove 4,000 miles in the south, and we saw nothing but the car lots, truck lots, and RV lots packed with inventory.
Yeah, and it's still happening. There's a lot of different spots. These dealerships, they're getting creative now, and they actually, a lot of their inventory is not even on site. They have different spots around the country that they are storing a lot of these vehicles. You won't even know that they're from dealerships. They're hidden from the general public, and it's thousands of vehicles just rotting away. And yet they told all of us, you better buy now. This is 2 years ago, 3 years ago. You better buy now because you'll never get this car again. And now they have so many cars that they're parking these things in office garages. They're parking them in abandoned malls, abandoned restaurant lots. I've seen this. I've shot many videos on this where we've come across these vehicle lots where they're just
parking cars everywhere, and they're just sitting out in the element, wasting away. But they told us we better buy a car and pay $10,000 over for it. Well, the realtors were telling us to do this for years, and now, as much as I keep getting so sick of what they keep repeating every day, is that there's just a shortage of inventory. Look, if you want to buy a house, there are houses out there. I think that this is a complete exaggeration, the shortage of inventory. What there is a shortage of inventory is qualified buyers. That's what there is a shortage of inventory. We have so many homes going up right now, so much multifamily going up. We saw homes and multifamily across this country going up everywhere. I just wonder where the buyers are going to come from. Here's another one from Redfin. The number of renter households is growing 3 times faster than the homeowner households. Does that concern you?
Yeah, it does. And the thing is we've said this in different videos where not everybody's cut out to be a homeowner. There are a lot of renters in the United States, and I feel like that is going to grow over time. It's going to get very expensive to be able to own a home, and it's going to become a luxury, a real luxury, especially with the property taxes going up every year, and people's spending power getting eroded by inflation, and also the fact that the insurance companies, it's going to be very difficult to get insurance. Some parts of the country, you can't even get insurance. You're pretty much just risking it.
You made a comment months ago on the channel, and you just talked about it's not a matter of buying a home, it's a matter for the people that already own a home, keeping the home.
Keeping the home.
Can
as
you
well.
elaborate on that? Because now, more than ever, that is becoming more and more true, with just like what you said, the insurance, taxes, all that.
Yeah. And the thing is we're getting into a situation right now where there's a lot of people that are retiring, and then you have like the older population. A lot of them are passing away. I've seen this over the years.
Or downsizing.
Downsizing, or either passing away. So what happens sometimes too is you'll have a family, you have a husband and wife. They have already had children. They pass away. Sometimes they have a pretty large house, and they're able to afford it because they have the savings for it. And then you have the children come in, and they cannot afford that house anymore because that house requires a lot of upkeep. So what do? They have to sell it. And a lot of times they don't even live in the same county or in the same state where the parents did. So they have to just offload it. They can't even afford to live on it anyways because either the property taxes are too high, or the insurance is very high, or the electricity bill is really high, and it's just too much maintenance for them.
Great point. So between all the new construction, between the people aging, passing away, or downsizing, retiring, between the short-term rentals, Airbnb, VRBO, where people now cannot rent these homes out, there's a lot more homes coming on the market. I'm watching this market every day. I see a lot of homes coming on. They're staying on the market longer. I'm seeing more price reductions. And now we're in an economy where people are losing their jobs. Real wages are not keeping up with real life. And it's going to be very, very difficult. Like Enrique said, it's going to become a luxury to own a home between the HOAs, the insurance, the taxes, maintenance, high utility costs, job losses. This is going to get really, really difficult. So I hope if you are in the business, the mortgage business, real estate business, I hope you put money away during the good times, because this business now is collapsing. Another article today from The Hedge, worse off now, real wages have declined since November of 2020. You care to elaborate on real wages not keeping up with real life?
Yeah, the thing is most of the people around you, more than likely their wages haven't kept up. You can see it. Someone making $25 an hour is not enough. Someone making even $30 an hour. If it's just one person, you may be able to get by. But if it's a family of 3, a family of 4, unfortunately, in most cases, you have to make over 6 figures now. And even then, you still struggle.
You know, when we were out in the Temecula area, we shot a video, I don't know how many months ago, but you made another great point where we talked about, the 2-person income. But what if the husband or the wife loses a job? Now it's a 1-person income. They're in big trouble. And you said, literally, and I will always remember this, it's literally a 3-person income now that, it's going to take 3 people in a household. Or people are going to have to start renting out rooms in order to keep things going.
Yeah, not only that, but right now, the fact that the job market is kind of iffy, you also get to a point where employers, if you have someone that you've been working for many, many years, they will try to find ways to be able to get you to leave without them having to pay you severance. So that is also a thing you have to be very careful about. the fact that just because you have an employer, you've been there 10, 20, 15, 20 years, these employers, a lot of them, they don't want to be able to pay severance, or maybe they say, hey, you know what, this employee, they're getting paid too much. Maybe I want to replace them with someone else. And so they will try to find ways to be able to avoid paying you severance. All that money, they can use it for other stuff. You know, they can use it to pay their management more, or they can use it to pay other employees. So you have to be very wary of that. The fact that, yes, you can have 3 people working in a house, but if one person loses their job, that could be the difference between being able to afford where they live or having to go live in a car or even in a van. We don't even know.
And just to add to that, I think I spoke about this yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Half of small businesses in America last month,
Mm-hmm.
and I want you to talk about this, last month, half of small businesses in the United States of America could not pay their rent.
Yeah, and I do believe that that's true. But I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that a lot of people are spending a lot of money in places they don't need to. So if you go out to the mall, if you go out to these sports games, or even if you see on social media, a lot of people are traveling right now. They're spending money on unnecessary things. So I feel like a lot of people haven't woken up to the fact that we are not in a situation right now. I mean, yes, you can treat yourself here and there, but I feel like the spending is still out of control. A lot of people cannot hold back. They need to make sure that they spend their money responsibly. It's getting to a point right now where they're not affording it because they're spending it on useless things.
In closing, really quick, Enrique wanted to announce his new channel that he's starting. A lot of you in the comment section said, hey, Enrique should have a channel. And so Enrique's going to have a channel now. And go ahead, what's the channel name? How do they find you?
Yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and my channel, it's actually called Enrique Reacts. So I will be vlogging certain things about my life. So, some things are going to be financial related, some things are not, but at the end of the day, I'm going to try to provide good content for everybody. And for the most part, like I said, I want to be able to teach people certain things, you know, about finances and about how to improve themselves, and just in general. That's my whole objective here on YouTube, is to be able to have other people learn from either my mistakes or to be able to show people certain things to be able for them to be able to improve themselves as well.
And Enrique, in my opinion, is a real gamer. And what I mean by that is this guy boxes, he does jujitsu, he's very aware of what's happening in the economy. He is one of these guys that personally in his own financial life doesn't overspend. He's really walking the walk. So there's very few people that I can attest do that. But this is one of the people that I have a lot of respect for because he does walk the walk. He's, you know, very multi-dimensional. And I've said this many times, you cannot be one-dimensional with what is happening right now. And I know a lot of people out there are going to get complacent because we have a new administration and they believe that, you know, miracles are going to take place. And look, I think some good things are coming, and I think that this gets us on the right track. But don't get complacent. I do believe that we're going to see some sabotage. I do believe we're going to see some trickery take place. I do believe we're going to see some attacks on the financial system take place and be blamed on this new administration. That's my personal opinion. I pray to God that this whole thing goes smoothly and that we're in this new utopia, this new economy very, very quickly. But it doesn't work that easily when you're $35+ trillion in debt and you're running massive deficits. You're paying $1 trillion on interest on this debt, and we have multiple wars going on right now. And a lot of things need to be diffused. And of course, the manufacturing situation where we're importing literally everything from around the world, mostly Asia. We don't have factories built right now to just start manufacturing tomorrow. So look, I pray for America. I'm optimistic. I think we're heading in the right direction. But I think that if you think that there's not going to be some rough times coming, you are drinking the Kool-Aid. So don't get complacent. Again, don't be one-dimensional. Be multi-dimensional. Get your health taken care of. Get your finances taken care of. Make sure you're walking close to God. Get your spiritual side intact with God. So it's multi-dimensional. Would you agree?
I agree. I think you have to, every single day, you have to make those steps to be able to improve. Anything you see that you can improve upon, do it, because at the end of the day, over the years, you're going to look back at yourself, you're going to say, wow, what a change. And it's just little by little, day by day, just baby steps.
It's not easy. Jiu-jitsu is not easy, right? Boxing is not easy.
No.
And None of this stuff is easy. You know, saving your money, not buying stuff you don't need. It's not easy. It's tempting to go out and do all this stuff. And there's things you can do that are more fun with your money. There's things you could do more fun with your time than jiu-jitsu and boxing. Some people really, really enjoy it. I do it because of the structure and the discipline and just having those skill sets. But it teaches you discipline. It puts you in very, very uncomfortable situations, positions that you need to think about how to get out and push your body and your mind on how to solve it and get out. Because if something happens in real life, you're always going to go back to your skills, whether it's financial, spiritual, physical. You're going to go back to the skills. And if you don't have the skills, you're going back to zero. So this is the time right now to be adding to your skills multidimensionally.
Yeah, repetition. I think it's very important. Obviously, when you go and you do any type of sport, whether it be boxing, jiu-jitsu, or if you want to do other types of sports, you want to make sure that you do it over and over and over again, and eventually it'll stick. But it's just a matter of you, whether or not you have the persistence to be able to do it day by day, week by week, month by month.
Don't quit.
Don't quit.
Don't quit, because
Don't quit.
it also teaches you too, if you're in business, if you're competing for a job, if it's real life and you're dealing with some negativity, these things teach you don't quit. Quitters lose. And these skill sets, you know, are going to teach you not to give up, not to quit. And that's why I think it's good for everybody to do. I think it's fantastic for kids to do. And of course, having those defensive skills, because crime is not going away anytime soon. And inflation's not going away anytime soon. The devil's not going away anytime soon. We're going to be we're going to be getting tested here. A quick forecast I'm going to make tonight is I think we're going to see serious trouble with this economy and the stock market in 2025. That's a forecast, not a guarantee. But, you know, a lot of things I've said over the years have come to fruition. And here we are. And of course, I thought this administration, the new administration, would win. They did. But I do believe we're going to see serious economic and a serious problem, a serious correction, collapse in the stock market in 2025. What do you think?
I agree. I think that it's just gotten a lot too frothy, and that's one of the reasons why, again, I decided today, I said, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and just get out of these markets. I'm going to let them cool down. If I see an opportunity, I might jump on it, but for the most part, I'm out. I might delve back in here and there, but I just feel like right now is a good time just to be on the sidelines.
And really quick, you know, we've now had the second rate cut. I do believe we'll get another rate cut in December. Why are they cutting rates if everything is so good? I mean, look, the stock market is at all-time highs. Gold's going up again. Oil's going up. They're telling us wages are going up. GDP's going. Everything's going up. Why in the world are they cutting rates if everything is so good? To me, they should be doing the opposite. We're not near the 2% inflation target yet, and everything is going up. So, and of course, food prices are not going down. Service prices are not going down. So why in the world are they cutting rates in this environment?
Yeah. Well, the thing is it's very difficult to find out what's the reasoning behind that. The only thing I can tell you, and I've seen this over time, sometimes these types of actions by the Fed, they will have an opposite effect on the markets. So there's a possibility that by them doing this right now might actually tank the stock market temporarily. So we don't know, but I have seen over the years, sometimes what people think is going to end up happening because of certain actions, it actually turns out to be the opposite.
And these will have delayed reactions that will happen in 2025, these rate cuts.
Yes. So I don't know. I really do think that these actions that the Fed are taking right now, I think that it might have an opposite effect of what people are looking forward to.
Really quick as we close, how to get to your channel again?
Yeah, so it's actually Enrique, Enrique, and then Reacts, Reacts. So you can find me there, and I'm going to be posting many videos. I'm going to do my best to be able to have a consistency for you and to be able to provide good quality content.
Give him some love. He's walking the walk, ladies and gentlemen. He's a good guy. I'm going to leave it there tonight. Have a wonderful day. God bless every one of you. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enrique, thanks for coming by. And as usual, look forward to speaking to each and every one of you very, very soon. Be safe out there. Take care. God bless.